Hey guys, it is Breyer here and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. So at the time that I'm filming this, I am leaving for Kentucky in 5 days. Oh my god, doesn't even feel real. But Breyerfest is very much fast approaching. And of course, with Breyerfest approaching, I am very much in a model horse mood. And I wanted to try and get one more long form content video out to you guys before the big day, or big weekend, I should say. So you guys seem to enjoy my decorator collection tour, where I specifically just went over the decorators in my collection. It's always fun doing a full collection tour, but when I am just able to talk about a specific group of models, it makes it a lot easier to go more in depth and share more about them. So today I'm going to be showing you guys every vintage Breyer horse in my collection. I feel like vintage models you either absolutely love or really don't like, want nothing to do with. I personally love them. So I do have quite a few in my collection. So I did Google what is classified as vintage, because I feel like I've heard a lot of different things throughout my time being in the hobby. And I feel like when I first started, which was like 8-9 years ago now, maybe 10, it was that if they were in the 80s or older, then that was considered vintage. But when I just Googled what makes something vintage, it told me that anything 20 years or older is considered vintage, which feels a little weird, especially because I'm 21. But that was the first search result. So I just decided, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to do every model that was before the 2000s. I'm going to be going in order of newest to oldest. And I have a very cool one at the end that I really don't show you guys all that often, so I'm excited to give you guys a closer look. So let's get started with the Vintage Breyer Horse Collection Tour. So the first one we have here is a recent addition to my collection. This is the Missouri Fox Trotter. I believe this one was the first on the mold, and it was produced from 1999 to 2001. I recently found this guy in an antique mall, new in box. You guys could check out the unboxing of him. And he is super cool. I love the shading on him. It is super dark and interesting. Here's his other side. He is just super cute. I love the green and his mane. And I'm really excited to get this guy in the show ring. He's pretty much flawless from what I could see. And he definitely held up well being in a box for 20 years. Next up we have Cigar, who was produced from 1998 to 2005. This guy is actually used to be my aunt's horse, and he is slightly beat up. He was definitely played with a bit, but a very cute boy based off of the real life Cigar and the first on the mold. Next up is the Aristocrat Champion Hackney Pony, produced from 1995 to 1996, so only 1 year for this little guy. And I believe this was the first on the mold, and I found him in an antique store in Florida. But she is super cute. Next up we have Rough and Ready, who is on the Adios mold, and he was produced from 1993 to 1995. This guy is actually the first model that I purchased when I decided that I wanted to start collecting model horses. So he is a forever model, and I just really, he has a special place in my heart. He came to me smelling a lot like smoke and was a little nasty, but I think I cleaned him up pretty well. You could probably tell where I was trying to get some of the rubs out. I would love if maybe I could find one in like actual good condition, but I really do love this guy, and I love the Adios mold. Next up is the Medicine Cap Mare from the Mare and Foal gift set, produced in 1994 to 1997. I really do love this mare. She is just so cute and innocent looking. I believe I got this horse in Florida at an antique shop, and yeah, she's definitely a little beaten up, but nothing too crazy. I think she's super cute. I would love to find the foal one day. I might even try and get like one of the newer ones in this mold, or in that set. Okay, we are shrinking down for the next one. This is the Family Arabian foal that was produced in 1989 to 1990. This is another one that was my aunt's. He's definitely a little beat up and got some wonky little legs here, but he still stands fine for me, and he is really cute. I think he was just a regular run produced thing. Okay, I made a little mistake in my order and honestly just completely forgot about this girl, but as I was putting the other one away, I spotted her and I was like, I think that you were made in the 90s. So she was. I believe that it said 1995 or 1997 to 1999. It's either 1997 to 1999 or 1995 to 1997. Either way, late 90s. This is Amber from the Amber and Ashley foal set, and she is so stinking adorable. I really love this mold, and she's in really great condition. I've shown her quite a few times. But yeah, another cute little foal. Next up, we have John Henry, who was produced in 1988 to 1990. I found this guy new in box at Breyer a few years ago. So I decided to take this guy out of the box just because boxes usually don't hold that much value. And the horses that I do keep in the box just kind of end up sitting on the bottom of my shelves and aren't displayed. And I really like this boy, and I just think he's so cute, especially because there was another one more recently added, I think in 2021. So I wanted him to have a friend to stand next to. But he's just a simple, solid bay. I feel like I got him for like 25 bucks or something. I'm not sure if I'm ever actually going to show him just because I have a lot of thoroughbreds and judges are very particular if they like a more vintage mold or not. And this one in particular is so like chunky. It is so cute. I love it. But yeah, he's just a sweet boy with a sweet face, and I really like this guy. Okay, we actually forgot about Misty. How could I forget about Misty? And I'm like in my pajamas and I'm not getting filming ready again. So I just wanted to make sure that this girl got included because it's Misty. So I was having a really hard time figuring out which variation this was because there are a ton. Maybe you guys could help me identify it. I got a few different answers when I asked on Instagram. But from what I could tell, I think she is the version from, I believe, 84 to like 90 something, or I think it's like 73 to 84, something in that range. It's like number 40. And there were a ton of different variations of Misty within that time, and that seemed to be the closest to this version that I have. This is another one that was a part of my aunt's range of little ponies that I acquired from them. Yeah, I would love to know what you guys think. There's also the possibility that she's from the late 90s, early 2000s. But I don't know. There are a lot of Misty variations, and I just can't put a pin on who this one is. Okay, the next one is one of my favorites. So this is the Black Horse Ranch mail order model from 1987. There were 1,000 produced. And he is in this super cool dapple gray color with the splatter style that they used to do back in the day. And this guy is also actually a shrinky. So back in, I think like the late 80s, early 90s, there used to be a problem with models literally shrinking. It was just something in the plastic. I'm not the most knowledgeable on it, but I'm sure you guys could find tons of information by people that actually know what they're talking about. So I definitely have to be careful with this guy around my other models and make sure he's not gonna like end up melting on anybody. But he's been fine. He's not touching anybody, so. But here he is next to a modern Adios. I was produced in 2014. Kind of hard to show with him just standing, but he shrunk quite a bit. But he is super cute, and I am so grateful that I was able to have this guy. And another one that will literally never leave my collection. Part of me kind of wants to show him just to like see how he would do. Maybe in like a collectability class. Even though he's a little wonky, he does stand for me. I do kind of have to, since his front legs are shorter than his back legs, so he's like lifted up by a little mirror that I have. But other than that, pretty flawless. So who knows, maybe I'll try. So this guy is the original Adios, who was produced from 1969 to 1973. And this guy was based off of the real life standard bred first on the mold. Actually it never really crossed my mind that this mold was originally intended to be a standard bred, not a quarter horse, which we now usually see. But super cute, chunky guy. I found this, I want to say like Breyer 2017 when we were on our way back from Breyerfest. We stopped at like an antique shop or something, and this guy was like 10 bucks. He definitely came with his fair share of flaws, but I kind of touched up some of them, some kind of not. You could definitely see like where I painted it, but I think it looks better than, I believe he like had like white marks on him, so the darker brown masks it a little bit more. But very happy to have the original model produced for one of my favorite sculpts. All right, next we are tackling two foals that I had the hardest time truly identifying. But here's the first one. This one was a little bit easier. He is a family Arabian foal, or proud Arabian foal, I can't remember which one. His name is Shah, and he was produced from 1960 to 1966. So he is this adorable, like kind of honey bay glossy foal. Identifying this marking was what led me to finally figure out who he was, but I recently found him at an antique store. But he's a cute little glossy dude. I think I paid like 10 bucks for him. Oh, but that was the thing where I got like an amazing deal on him and my Missouri fox trotter. You'll just have to watch the vlog to see, but a cute little guy. Okay, this is the one that was giving me issues. So my issue kind of with him when I was trying to identify him on Identifier Breyer is that he is like glossy or semi-glossy. I want to say glossy because I don't remember there being a semi-glossy option, but there were pretty much different variations of how much of the blanket part was on the horse. And this guy looked more closely to the small blanket variation. So there was like small, medium, and like full. So medium would go to like here. There was another term for it, but like here, and then like the full one would like go up to the shoulder. And the medium and like one up to the shoulder would be in gloss, but for the small blanket version, it seemed to only come in matte. And that was from 1962 to 1971. So I think he is the Appaloosa foal spot from 1960 to 1968. But then I was just kind of looking around more. There was the other one that had like the ears straight up, which he kind of looks like. That was produced from 1962 to 1971. And I think that was actually also the matte variation with the small blanket. So I really don't know who he is or what happened to him. If anybody would like to look into it and knows any more than me, I would love to hear. I got him from an antique store, I believe when we were like, we were traveling somewhere. I think it was in like the Carolinas or something. Okay, so the last model is actually displayed elsewhere in my house. So I'm gonna put some B-roll over this and just talk about him a little bit. So this is the clock from 1950 to 1953 is when it was produced by Master Crafters Clock Co. So pretty much before Breyer was a model horse company, they were a clock making company. And I'm pretty sure that the story goes that they had these clocks that had the model horses on them, but people wanted like just the model horses to play with because they were these cool little Western horses. So I found this guy at Breyerfest 2018. I believe I found him in the swap meet, and I honestly can't remember how much I paid. Definitely more than $100 though. And after researching some more online, I am pretty confident that he is actually a Breyer Masterworks clock. I know that there were some knockoff versions with like Heartland and just other knockoffs, but after very much comparing photos and just the information that I got from the original seller, from what I could remember, it is a Breyer clock, which is good to know. And he just lives in my living room. He's definitely a little faded, so definitely not in the best condition, but still a really cool find that I feel like not too many people have. So yeah, that is the oldest model horse in my collection. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this vintage model horse collection tour and you learned a little bit more about my vintage models. Hopefully I will be adding one or two more this Breyerfest. I'm really going to be keeping an eye out for another Adios model. But yeah, I would love to hear in the comments who your oldest model in your collection is. And if you guys have any more information on any of the models that I've shown that I didn't touch on or got something wrong, please feel free to let me know in the comments. I know I am not a vintage Breyer expert by any means, and I know that there are plenty of people that have been in the hobby a lot longer than I have that know so much more, so I'm always open to all of that. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to leave a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already. I actually just hit 6K, which is really exciting, so thank you guys so much. And just keep a lookout for some little shorts that I've been posting. I'm trying to stock up a little bit, and then hopefully I can do some Breyerfest content for you guys. There's at least gonna be a haul, but I'm still trying to figure out if I'm gonna attempt to vlog. Maybe just like in the Clarion or something. All right, guys, well, I will see you all at Breyerfest very soon. So stay fabulous. Bye, guys.